Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you are doing amazing. Alright, so let me just share the link with you all so that we can start today's session on basic versus advanced English. Alright, so we'll be starting the session now. I have shared the link. Let's wait for a minute more so that we can start the session. Alright, so we have done actually few things on the previous class. We actually did 20 phrases, basic phrases, and their advanced version of it. And today we will be covering 10 more very interesting idioms that you all must know no matter what. Let's wait for a minute more so that you all can join. By the time, please think of a better phrase that you can use to say the same that is there on the screen. Yeah, so we'll be covering around 10 sentences today, and you can drop it down in the chat section. Your answers, of course. All right. So the first sentence is you have to decide. Now, this is something that we usually speak. This is something that we commonly speak, I should rather say. And the statement is you have to decide. Now, what's the better way of saying it? Like, what is the better sentence, better phrase that you can use instead of saying you have to decide? So the answer is make up your mind. Make up your mind. Please make up your mind. So make up your mind. What is make up your mind? Make up your mind is an idiomatic expression where you ask people to decide. Alright? Make up your mind. Please make up your mind before you come to any decision. Please make up your mind before you decide to quit. So that's how you use this phrase, please make up your mind. Alright, very common, and it's not very uncommon, it's well known in fact. It means to decide, or maybe to come to a conclusion, or to choose between two options, one or not just two, but two or more options, or to be firm or resolute in one's decision. So that's how you put it, that's how you speak about it. All right, okay, let me just, I hope I'm audible. I hope I was audible throughout. Let me just check once. It's well known, in fact. It means to decide or maybe to come to a conclusion or to choose. I think it's better. Just let me know in the comment section if I'm audible and visible. Not visible exactly, but the screen is visible and I'm audible properly. Just let me know in the comment section so that I can get the hint of what is actually going on. Just please drop it down in the chat section. Alright, moving to the next one, and the next statement is give me more details. So what is the better way of saying that? Please give me more details. Please give me more information. Think about it. Just think properly. What could be the better way of saying the same? Okay, Kavya, Lalita got it. I'm assuming that I am audible properly. So, now the next one. The next statement is, how do you say it in a better way? Give me more details. So this is actually the basic version of it, right? This is your phrase number 22. We have already done 10 phrases, not 10, but 20 sentences were covered in the last session that we have had on Thursday, if I'm not wrong. Today, the next session on the same basic versus advanced English. And this is your phrase number, your sentence number 22, which is give me more details. Now, how do you say it in a better way? So, fill me in. Fill me in is a phrase that can be used to say such things, or whenever you want to get more details, whenever you want more details, you can use this phrase, fill me in. So it is an idiomatic expression that means to inform or maybe update someone about something that they don't know. Maybe provide more information or details about a particular topic. Okay, so tell me more, or instead of saying keep me updated, you can use this fill me in. This idiomatic expression, which is fill me in. Let's see some examples. So, I've heard that Radha is leaving the company. Fill me in. What's going on? How was your trip? Fill me in. I want to hear all about it. What happened at the meeting? Fill me in. I missed it. So basically, when you want more details, more information about something, then you use this phrase, fill me in. Alright? I hope this is clear. Now, moving ahead. Calm down. How do you say this in a better way? The next phrase number 23 is calm down. Think about it. Like, what do you usually use when you want to say someone, please calm down? Do you use calm down, or do you use better phrase or idiomatic expression? And if you have any, you can just comment down below. Calm down. All right, let's see. So the phrase is pull yourself together. Pull yourself together, which means you're asking someone to calm down. All right, that is pull yourself together. Again, it is an idiomatic expression where you want person to calm down or to regain control of your emotions. To compose yourself, basically, to get back to normal, right? So if you want someone to calm down, to compose themselves, or maybe get back to normal, to gather strength and confidence, then you use this phrase, please pull yourself together. Now let's see some examples. So you look like you're nervous. Pull yourself together and let's get out of here. After the bad news, she took a few deep breaths and pulled herself together. He was devastated, but he pulled himself together for the sake of his family. Right? So basically, to regain control over themselves is what pull yourself together means. Moving to the next one. try to understand. Now, what is the better way of saying this? Try to understand. Please try to understand. If you want to say this to someone, how do you say it? Mainly. Think about it. Brainstorm a little. How do you say this phrase? Try to understand in a better way. So, what is the meaning of try to understand? Not meaning exactly, but better phrase to say the same. So, the phrase that you can use is read between the lines. Now, beautiful idiomatic expression that can be used for day-to-day conversation. To read between the lines, which actually means try to understand something. Or you can say that to understand the underlying or hidden meaning of something. To pick up on subtle hints or maybe clues. So in simple words, you can say that it means to look beyond the surface level meaning and understand the underlying message or intention, which is read between the lines. Okay. So let's see some examples. Her email said, "I'm fine," but reading between the lines, I could tell she was upset. When my boss said, "We'll discuss your salary later," I read between the lines that I wasn't getting a raise. The company's statement said restructuring, but reading between the lines, it meant layoffs. So again, the thing is that if you want to read the hidden meaning of something, you use this phrase read between the lines. When you want to understand the hidden meaning of something, you use this phrase reading between the lines. Next one, you are really drunk. Now, how do you say this exact phrase in a better way? This is your phrase number 25, which is you're really drunk. Do you have a better way to say the same? Think about it. How do you say it in a better way? So if you want to say someone read between the lines, you can use this very informal phrase, that is, you are wasted. You are wasted. So it's a very casual way of telling someone that you are really drunk. You are excessively drunk. You are catastrophically drunk. That means it's too much. It's beyond our understanding. So if you want to say that you're really drunk, you can say this phrase, you are wasted. Moving ahead, I work out regularly. So if you want to say this to someone, let's say you want to brag about your workout routine and mention that you work out regularly, then how do you say it? Do you simply say I work out regularly, or do you have a better way to say it? So you can say that I work out day in and day out. Beautiful idiom, day in and day out. Read it very carefully. Day in and day out. What is the meaning of it? What do you think could be the meaning of it? So day in and day out, again, it is an idiomatic expression, beautiful idiom, which means every day. Every day without exception or variation. Something which is repeatedly done, routinely done, continuously with no breaks. So if you are an avid health freak, enthusiast, then you must be working out day in and day out, which means every day without any break, without any exception. So is there anything that you do day in, day out? Let me know in the comment section. Day in, day out. Beautiful idiom, and one must know it no matter what. And if you are an avid English learner, then you must know this word, which is day in, day out. Alright, moving to the seventh one of today's session, which is it is cold outside. Where I am living, it is definitely cold outside. But what about you? And how do you say it in a better way? It is cold outside. Alright, let's see. It's freezing outside. So this is easy, and this is something that you can actually use especially during this season. If it is cold outside, extremely cold, excessively cold, unpleasantly cold, so you can use this phrase, it is freezing. It is freezing outside, which means excessively cold. Not just cold, but very cold. Alright, moving to the next one. If you want to say that it is raining heavily, and this is something that I usually use, I do not stick to this traditional way of saying the same, but I actually use better way of saying the same, which is if I want to say that it is raining heavily outside, I use this phrase, this word to mention the same, which is pouring. Pouring means something done excessively, especially rain. When it is raining heavily, बहुत ज़्यादा पानी गिर रहा है, then you use this phrase, it is pouring. Pouring. I hope this is clear. Moving ahead. I am nervous. How do you say I am nervous? Think about it. If you want to say that I'm nervous, how do you say it? Let's see. I have a cold feet. Now again, very, very good idiom that you can use on day-to-day basis, which is I have a cold feet. Cold feet means you're simply saying that you are nervous. Again, cold feet is an idiomatic expression which means that you're nervous, you're anxious, and you are hesitant about something. Alright, so in simple words, you can say that to suddenly feel hesitant or uncertain about something. Maybe pre-wedding jitters, or it can be any situation which makes you nervous. Right? So remember, cold feet means you getting hesitant, nervous, panicking, uncertain. For example, I was all set to skydive, but I got cold feet at the very last minute. That means I got nervous at the very last minute. Alright? She had cold feet about the marriage and called off the wedding. So she got so nervous that she decided to cancel the wedding. She had cold feet about the marriage and called off the wedding. Alright? Moving to the last one of today's session, which is I fell asleep. How do you say this in a better way? Do you have any better way of saying the same? I fell asleep today. Alright, let's check. I nodded off. Very casual way, very interesting way of saying that you fell asleep. I nodded off while listening the podcast. That means it was so dull, it was so boring that I fell asleep. So nodded off simply means that someone fell asleep. Nodded off. Again, it is an idiomatic expression which means to fall asleep suddenly. Remember, to fall asleep suddenly. When you simply doze off matlab neend lag jana, or become drowsy, often while sitting or standing. right? So this is what nodded off means. How can you use it in an example? So you can say that I nodded off during the long lecture, or you can say that after dinner he nodded off on the couch, maybe while watching TV. The driver nodded off at the wheel, but luckily the passengers woke him up in time. Fortunately, passengers woke him up in time. So, again, today also we covered around 10 beautiful basic phrases and the advanced version of it. Now, it's very important to revise each and every one of it. So, make sure that you go through the recordings that are available on YouTube under live session of each and every session that we are having these days, especially in December. Make sure that you revise everything, otherwise, you might forget things, right? So we are dealing with a lot of things, but revision is extremely important. All right, so I believe that's all in today's session. Tomorrow we will be connecting again at 8. If you, not 8 but 9, if you enjoy the session, please don't forget to like the session, because I think that gives me the motivation to come here every day and take live sessions. So don't forget to live, and of course, if you haven't subscribed, go subscribe the channel. Trust me, we will be learning very interesting things, especially during live sessions. All right, so don't forget to join tomorrow at 9. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, everyone.